To everyone who's on, we also, on the press alert, we did tell the media that they could watch it at LULAC.org. I just called the Miami Herald again. So that's the third contact. But we did post that they could also watch it at LULAC.org. FYI. Good morning, Juan, Mari. Thank you for joining.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Yeah, it's a little quiet here, no? We should put music or something on. ¿Cómo estás? How are you?
Bien, aquí, imagínate.
Good, good, good. Yeah, so our press efforts overnight were directed at getting people to watch it streaming at LULAC.org. We also put in the Zoom login. So I'm not sure if they're going to be on one or the other. Jorge, are we streaming at present?
We are streaming, but in the Facebook page.
Okay,
Let me work on the LULAC page.
Okay, all right. So we're on Facebook. Okay, so we will be going here momentarily as soon as President Garcia logs on. Thank you very much to everyone who may already be online. Thank you. Good morning. Our National Chief Executive Officer, Sindy Benavides, is on. Thank you. Let's give it a few more moments and see who else will be joining us. You may be, if you're a member of the media, we also sent you the Zoom link if you'd like to join us and be able to access the chat space. This way you can ask questions after President Garcia makes the announcement. Thank you.
Okay.
Mari Corugedo is our state director. She is the Florida elected representative for LULAC, and she will have some words to share after we hear from the president. Our CEO, Sindy Benavides, is also on with us today. Thank you. Okay. All right, so we do have some people who are streaming us at LULAC.org, so that may very well be one of the places you can watch this. Share the page, please. This announcement is extremely significant to the 5 million Latinos in Florida. As you may know, yesterday in Texas, a similar state of emergency was declared in the morning by LULAC for Hispanics in Texas. And literally within 4 hours, the governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott, did in fact declare that masks are now mandatory in most places across the state of Texas. So we're hoping that the same will happen here in Florida because, Mari, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've seen what, 10,000 cases there? Or what is the latest trend happening in your state of Florida?
It's really going up. It's like a little over 10,000. So especially like in the South Florida area. So and Hillsborough. So it's something really affecting if you really look where the diverse populations are. So it's really concerning, you know.
So let me ask you, are you currently required to wear masks in public, or what is the situation on that?
Look, I hear, at least where I live in Miami-Dade, you see many people wearing masks, you know. I had to go upstate because my mother had a procedure and no one wears a mask. We were like terrified. She lives in a town called Lake Placid, and it's connected like to Sebring, and you could count with your hands how many people wear masks, which was terrible. Even in the businesses that you know, at least here in Miami, you see them serving with masks and all that. You know, they have their masks down here, you know, so it's not being enforced.
What about social distancing?
Here, people
Yes.
try, it's very difficult because, people when they're out and about, kind of forget, and then they kind of hold themselves back. But like I told you, up in the state in that central area, there was no social distancing whatsoever. I mean, they won't even wear a mask. So it was crazy, and there's a lot of retirees and a lot of an elder population up in that area, and it was like, wow, it was like a little shocking to see that.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you may be streaming this. If you're a member of the media, you're also invited to join us via Zoom. We did let you know that you could stream us at LULAC.org and also on Facebook. I want to introduce our national president, Domingo Garcia.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you. And
All right, go ahead whenever you're ready.
okay, so ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to thank you for joining us, whether you're streaming us at LULAC.org or whether you're on the Facebook page for LULAC. I want to give you some background. 24 hours ago, President Garcia took a very significant step on behalf of this organization. We are the oldest and the largest Latino civil rights organization. He, along with our chief executive officer, are right now at the helm of this fight against COVID-19 for Latinos across the nation. And he announced that the state of Texas was in a state of medical emergency for Hispanics in that state. And literally within a few hours after that announcement came, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas made masks a mandatory requirement for most locations and people from 10 years old and up. Today, we take on another state, a state that has seen a dramatic spike in COVID-19, and Latinos have been hit hard. I want to introduce our national elected leader, Domingo Garcia, in Dallas, Texas. Go ahead, President.
Yes, today LULAC is announcing a national medical alert for the state of Florida. The numbers that we're seeing in Miami-Dade, Fort Broward County, as well as in other areas of Florida, have been just dramatic and continuing to increase. The fact of the matter is, today we're sending a letter to Governor Santinas in Florida that we want mandatory masks to be applied to everybody in Florida. As a resident of Pompano Beach, this concerns me, as well as everybody else in the state, but especially the Latino community. We're the most at risk. The numbers have shown that Latinos are disproportionately being impacted by COVID-19 across Florida. The fact of the matter is today, most of Florida is closed, especially the entertainment industry, the Carnival Cruise Lines, the Disney World is closed. And that's impacting because many Latinos work in these service and entertainment industries that deal with tourism. And when there is no tourism because of COVID-19, that's bad for the economy of the state. But it's also bad for the health of Latinos. When Latinos are let go and made to wait in lines close to each other to get unemployment, some of the lowest in the country, that is a conduit for the COVID-19. And what we're seeing across Florida is that these numbers have continued to escalate and increase, and the governor really has done nothing at this point. So we're asking on governor, start doing something, start caring about our fellow Floridians. Make sure that everybody is mandatorily required to wear a mask, irregardless of whether their political background, because this is not about Republicans or Democrats, red or blue. This is about Americans. This is about Floridians. This is about taking care of our people. And with such an elderly population in our state, it is important that we take care of them as soon as possible. We're also asking that all temperatures be checked of everybody going to work. 4 out of 5 Latinos are considered essential workers. These are the people that are picking the crops in the fields, the oranges in Florida, and they are not being given the protections they need to be taken care of. These are the people that are driving the trucks, that are working at the grocery stores. These are the people that are on the construction sites. These are the essential workers of America. And so they cannot work from home. They don't have the luxury of being able to work from a computer and call in. They have to show up. And as such, we need to make sure they're taken care of. They're provided the adequate protections that are necessary to make sure that they have safe work environments. We're asking the governor and the Senate, it's time you step up. We need emergency funds for Latinos families that do not have a laptop and a hotspot for education to be done online. We need support for a lot of Latinos, including undocumented Latinos in Florida, that require assistance. They're afraid to go take that COVID-19 test. They're afraid to go to the emergency room because they're afraid of their status. And Florida needs to step up, take care of them, because these are your neighbors. And if we don't take care of your neighbors, including the weakest among us, then that can lead to contagion continuing to increase across the state. Third, we need to help our businesses, the mom and pop shops all over Miami and Fort Lauderdale and Orlando and Tampa and Jacksonville. We need to make sure that they continue to work on Main Street. That means that we require financial assistance from the state, tapping into the rainy day funds to make sure that these businesses survive until this pandemic is over. And that requires bold leadership. It requires people caring about other people, having empathy for other people. And Governor, it's time that you and the legislature in Florida step up and help all those that need it now. It's going to require a team effort. So put down your red flag, put down your blue flag, and let's just put up the American flag, and let's get it done for all the Floridians who are in need. The letter will be given to all the press and will be handed out by our director, David Cruz. Thank you.
Mr. President, we have posted the letter. It is already posted at LULAC.org. If you go to LULAC.org, you will see the letter that has been sent to Governor Ron DeSantis. So the letter is already in the hands of the governor. To speak to that point, she is in Florida this morning. I'd like to introduce the director for LULAC Florida, Mari Corugedo. Mari?
Thank you, David, and thank you, President Garcia and Sindy. This is a crucial issue that we have to address, especially here in our state. We've hosted several town halls with our different representatives, and it's something that we're trying to address, the way that we are trying to mitigate these cases here in Florida. And what we have found is that we need the leadership from our representatives and our senators, which is not there. We're always looking for ways to say that it's because of other issues, it's because families are gathering. But the reality is that if Florida would have taken some precautions, and if we truly cared about the economy and the schools and our elderly and our other populations, we would have done what other states did and taken aggressive steps to do what the state needed in order not to be in this position again. So we reopened, we didn't mandate the mask, we didn't do certain things, and now we are in the position that we are in now. And many of our communities are at a disadvantage, and we are seeing the surge over and over, and we're becoming what those states were many months ago when we could have done something more aggressive. So we are very concerned. We're very concerned because this is going to have an effect on many of our things, the census, which is so vital for Florida and for other states, but mainly for Florida, and our voting. So many things are going to be affected with this. And we talk about death like if it's something that has been normalized. No, we need to do whatever we have to do because it's vital to our public health. And I think that we can't weaponize COVID-19. We need to make sure that our elected officials are doing right by Floridians and taking the steps that we need to take to make sure that all communities are safe.
Thank you very much, Mari Corugedo, State Director for LULAC in Florida. I'd like to turn now to our appointed Chief Executive Officer, who has been working on COVID-19 and steps that have been taken also in Spanish. She is in Washington, D.C. This is Sindy Benavides.
Thank you, David, and thank you, President Garcia and Mari, who serves as our Florida State Director. You know, I couldn't agree more. Wearing a mask is not about being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about saving lives. And we want to make sure that that message continues to be carried, that the governor takes bold and aggressive action and does not blame our community. A community that's a hardworking community, a community where we know directly from Surgeon General Adams that 5 out of 6 Latinos in the US have to leave their houses every single day to work and get paid. We are the essential workers. We are the community and the workers that are keeping America running and making sure that we are the doctors, the nurses, the technicians and the janitors in the hospitals. We are the teachers. We are the grocery store baggers and receptionists. And we also are working in the fields, making sure that, you know, juicy tomatoes and oranges get to our dinner plates across America. And so we strongly urge the governor again to make sure that the Latinos are also represented in decision-making positions, whether it's the COVID-19 Health Task Force, and ensuring that as hires are being made, like contact tracers and supervisors, that Latinos are again represented, that we have bilingual and bicultural individuals who can connect with our community, who can make sure that we're increasing awareness and education about COVID-19. And the truth is that when we talk about social distancing, this is an issue where we need to take a step back and be able to explain the why it's important. We also need to recognize that more efforts needs to be done. In the farm working community specifically, we need more hand washing stations. We need to make sure that there's more transportation provided so that our community is not packed in a bus or in a truck like sardines. We need to make sure that the safety net programs and that the government works directly with the community to provide access to masks as well. And so with that, I also wanted to just again end it by thanking Mari Corugedo, who serves as our LULAC state director, and our LULAC members who have been working hard on the ground to provide resources. And I also wanted to remind many in the media that we do have Ayuda en Español, LULAC.org /Ayuda en Español, where we have a toolkit that's both English and Spanish for community members who may be Spanish dominant.
Thank you very much. President Garcia, you're getting some comments. People want to know if you could share that message en español también. ¿Puede compartir algunas palabras de lo que estamos haciendo? Gracias.
Sí, cómo no. Yo soy Domingo Garcia, presidente nacional del LULAC. Y hoy estamos haciendo una alerta médica de emergencia por todo el estado de Florida. Sabemos que hoy estamos en una crisis grande. Sabemos especialmente en Miami-Dade, en Broward County, que incluye Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, la crisis ha aumentado especialmente con las familias latinas. Sabemos que 4 de cada 5 latinos son trabajadoras esenciales, son los que están en la pizca, los campesinos, son los que están manejando las trocas, son los que están en la construcción, son los que están trabajando en las tiendas para que haya comida para toda la gente. Y esa no tienen el lujo de ellos de trabajar de su casa, tienen que salir a trabajar y se están enfermando. Y desafortunadamente cuando se enferman tienen que pedir el desempleo. Y este gobernador y este estado de Florida ha hecho que esta gente se espere en líneas de horas y horas juntos donde se han enfermado para pedir solamente el desempleo que es mínimo en todo el país de $267 por semana, que ni paga la renta ni paga muy apenas la comida. Y eso quiere decir que necesitamos que el gobernador de Sindy inmediatamente ordene que las máscaras se pongan mandatoriamente por todo el estado de Florida para proteger a estos 4 de 5 trabajadores que están trabajando, para proteger a José y María a todos niveles donde ellos estén y sus familias. Necesitamos que se le pongan multas a los que no siguen estas reglas, que estén en las playas, que estén en el público, porque pueden enfermar a mucho más personas y eso va a costar a la economía de Florida mucho más de lo que estamos sufriendo ahorita. Lo que estamos viendo ahorita, está cerrado todas las playas de Miami, está cerrado Disney World, está cerrado todos los cruceros de carnaval en Fort Lauderdale. Así es que la mayoría de estos negocios tienen latinos trabajando en ellos. Y necesitamos que reconocer que si no podemos resolver el problema por de la salud, lo va a costar más en la economía. Aparte de eso, necesitamos fondos del estado de Florida para ayudar a todas las familias que están impactadas por el COVID-19. Por ejemplo, en la salud hay muchos inmigrantes en este país, en este estado, que no tienen documentos, tienen miedo de agarrar la prueba. tienen miedo de ir al hospital. Necesitamos que haya fondos para ayudarlos a esos trabajadores undocumentados para que reciban la asistencia y la ayuda médica que necesitan, porque cuando ayudamos al vecino, lo ayudamos a toda la comunidad, no importa su estatus de migración. Aparte de eso, necesitamos que ayudarle a todos los negocios pequeños, los que están en la calle 8 en Miami, o los que están por todo en Orlando, las comunidades puertorriqueñas y latinas por todo el estado. Necesitan asistencia. Ellos necesitan ayuda del gobierno estatal para que mantengan sus empleados, mantengan sus negocios, a que termine la pandemia que estamos sufriendo ahorita. Y eso va a pasar. Pero necesitamos que el gobernador y la legislatura de Florida levante su voz y levante sus plumas y hagan esa ley y ayuden a esta gente. Y las aplicaciones deben de ser simples. Una página, no miles de páginas como el CARE Act, donde muchos que no tienen cuentas con bancos, muchos que posiblemente no han puesto todo su papeleo en orden o no tienen crédito bueno, como quiera pueden recibir asistencia para mantener su negocio. Es lo que necesitamos ahorita y le vamos a mandar la carta al gobernador y esperamos una respuesta para el lunes a las 5 de la tarde. O si no, vamos a tomar acciones a todos niveles por todo el estado de Florida.
Gracias, señor presidente. Mari, para ti, una pregunta que sale de Sonia. Nos dice ella que ¿qué estamos haciendo para los jóvenes? Education for young people. En inglés o en español, English or Spanish. What can we do to educate the young people? Because young people are also being impacted.
Yo sé que se ha mandado mucha información, pero el problema es que si nuestros líderes mandan otro mensaje, entonces no van a creer la importancia de usar las máscaras y de tener prevención para no pasar este virus hacia otra gente. So, necesitamos liderazgo que tome esto y le diga a ellos, tienen que usar su máscara, tienen que lavarse las manos, tienen que no estar más cerca de 6 pies de la gente. No vayan a la playa por ahora y quédense en sus casas. Todo eso puede ser un resultado si nuestros líderes son los primeros que hacen el ejemplo, pero nosotros estamos informando a la comunidad, pero tenemos un mensaje de nuestro liderazgo que dice, no pueden salir, salgan, tengan cuidado, pero salgan. Entonces los jovencitos, claro, todos nosotros hemos pasado por esa etapa de nuestra vida, donde si oímos mensajes así, vamos a creer el mensaje que es más conveniente para nosotros. Yo creo que el liderazgo de la Florida tiene que empezar con los senadores que usan tanto su Twitter account, en vez de estar usando su Twitter account, hagan ciertos Zoom calls con sus personas que en el estado y le estén explicando qué es el impacto que el COVID-19 está teniendo con Florida y la importancia de todos nosotros seguir lo que el CDC nos está diciendo que tenemos que hacer.
¿Otras preguntas? Any other questions?
David, you were muted.
Excuse me. Yes, a question from Teresa Ovalle, Sindy Benavides, también en inglés o en español, como usted guste. Dice ella que, como dice el presidente, los que están trabajando son los latinos, los hispanos. Entonces, dice ella, por eso nos estamos enfermando y el desempleo es muy pobre. ¿Cómo LULAC está ayudando? ¿Qué es lo que estamos haciendo para tratar de ayudar a las familias?
Thank you, David. And we are taking a couple of steps to try to help and assist families. For one, making sure that we are building an awareness and education campaign about COVID-19, the symptoms, how it impacts our community. We are working directly with the CDC. We are working directly in the community through our LULAC councils to make sure that we are also providing some of these very basic needs. So the face mask, the gloves, and also food. LULAC has a LULAC relief fund. And so for the individuals who may find themselves unemployed, individuals who maybe one of two of the households, one has cut hours and or both have lost their jobs, they're able to apply to the LULAC relief fund. Separately, we are also continuing to advocate at the federal level. We know that in the CARES Act, many in our community were left behind, individuals that perhaps had an ITIN number and or are in mixed status families were not included in these care packages. And unfortunately, in these families, you have also, they're mixed status families. So you have US citizens that were discriminated and were left out. On our end, we're going to continue to advocate for our community. We know how important it is that we continue to advance our agenda. And again, for those that didn't catch it the first time, 5 out of 6 Latinos have to leave their houses every single day to work and get paid. That means that less than 15% of us can stay home and telework. That means that simply by leaving our house, we are unfortunately coming in contact with COVID-19, whether it's as we put gas in our car, or whether it's at our place of work. And so for us, it's very, very important that the community takes heed, that we ask questions. And as Mari pointed out, we demand our leadership to take aggressive action and to not send mixed messages to our community, because it puts all of us in danger.
Thank you. Mr. President, we've got a couple of minutes left. Would you like to make some closing remarks?
No, this is a crisis like none that America has faced since probably 1918 and 19, when during the Spanish flu influenza. It affects a lot of people, but the most at-risk group are Latinos, unfortunately, because we are the essential workers. Whether it's the meatpacking plants, whether it's the fields, whether it's the warehouses, whether it's the delivery services, or whether it's the construction crews or the nurses and police officers on the front line. We are there. And it's important that our government be there for us too. And Governor and Senators, it's time that you stand up for all Floridians and do the right thing.
Thank you very much to Mari Corugedo, our State Director in Florida, to Sindy Benavides, our CEO, to our National President, Domingo Garcia. We also want to thank Juan Proaño, who is here. He is in Florida, in Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet seen the letter, go to LULAC.org. It is posted there now. That letter has been delivered to the governor of the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis, and we will be monitoring that activity. As President Garcia said, we're giving him until Monday afternoon. If we don't hear that, you will hear back from us as to the next steps LULAC will take. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Vamos a estar nosotros muy sintonizados con la situación. Que la pasen bien y seguros. Mr. President, thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you.
Yeah.